In this episode of Negative Modifier, we'll be playing the game Delta Green. Delta Green, by design, tackles various mature themes that may be uncomfortable or triggering for listeners. Listener discretion is advised. So you're now you kind of have a second to breathe, and you're actually kind of in the room, more up towards the bed. Give me a search agent, Jumper.
Got a 41 out of 45.
All right, so now you're maybe under the stress of combat, and you have a chance to think. The situation of what's going on finally clicks for you, and you realize what this thing is. Maybe not in concept, but what you're looking at. There is this just ancient mummy of a person in the bed. It's all tucked in. It's dressed in kind of early 1900s sleeping attire of some kind. A variety of tubes running out to all the various pieces of equipment run out to that, and a variety of tubes run out to the urn. It definitely seems to be kind of pumping whatever blood, I guess, is left in this exceedingly ancient corpse back and forth from this urn kind of thing. Like, some of the blood is coming back, but most of it's going to it, and a variety of the other IV bags and stuff seem to be kind of replenishing the corpse itself.
I do believe this is Mr. Owen. We gotta destroy him.
What's the plan?
Like a Dorian Gray kind of thing a little bit or something, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting.
All right.
We see a pretty clear resemblance between the old person and the sand people despite the age.
Maybe, like, it's really old. Like, imagine, I guess, like, in your mind, like, imagine how old, like, a 200-year-old person would look if they were still alive. Like, it's the zombies you encountered earlier, aside from the fact that they looked like, well, zombies, maybe looked more alive than this thing does. Only thing telling you that's alive is this kind of slow, impossibly slow heart rate from one of the monitors in the room.
All right, so what have we got here? We've got a bunch of tubes. We've got a mummy of some sort. Is there anything special you got to do to kill a mummy?
Pour the acid on it.
Oh, good thinking. Okay, let's do that. Also, who's got a knife? Let's cut the tubes.
I'll pull out a knife and start cutting.
I'll cut as well. I have a knife.
I just want to point out that symbol on that urn looks familiar. I spotted it earlier. I think maybe something from that boat we were on in Louisiana.
Didn't you say you saw those weird scarecrows or something that were like that throughout the town, throughout the camp, the skinhead camp?
Yeah, all that stuff kind of seemed related.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that it's either his personal symbol or something. I don't know. Can I do an occult roll on it?
No, it's the same symbol. You'd recognize it. Yeah, it's the same symbol.
But can I do an occult roll to see if there's anything to it that I didn't know before? I don't know.
Sure. All right, so give me an alertness check while you're doing this, though, everyone, if you want.
That I succeeded. 30 out of 54.
Jet lag fail.
Tackle failed.
Alertness. I succeed with a 29 out of 47.
All right, so it's the faintest of sounds, like a slight draft blowing through a door. You kind of just hear coming from the mummy on the bed. And then in the doorway, there's this kind of big mud monster. It's vaguely human, but it's almost like all three of the kind of sands in the room that you fought so far have kind of pulled themselves back in a desperate kind of thing. It basically fills through. It's trying to force its way through to get to you.
It's a sand and an acid monster.
Yeah, more or less. Mostly sand, mostly dirt.
So are we back in combat?
Yep.
All right. Top of the order again, jet lag.
Can I continue cutting the stuff that's going, the medical stuff?
You want to cut the cables? Yeah, that can be that can totally be your action.
I'd like to do that.
All right. Yeah, you cut it. Kind of blood spurts everywhere. You got your knife out, like it's leaking blood. Not a ton of pressure in the lines, it turns out. But yeah, no, doesn't seem happy about that, but didn't stop it necessarily. Jumper, you're up.
Well, shit. This is not good. I panic shoot. Just blast.
At the monster or at what are you shooting? I guess.
I'm shooting the monster out of
All right.
just pure panic.
All right.
And I succeed with
Yeah.
17 out of 43.
Yep.
No, did I? Oh, yeah. We're using. Should I roll that again? Oh, I guess I should have used this to begin.
Roll the damage.
All right. I failed the lethality, got a 16 damage, though.
Yeah, it does it blows a big chunk of it. It's not really well back together either, but it definitely felt that hit on it. It's not happy about that. Like, it's as much as kind of a borderline amorphous clay, mud, acid monster can kind of slump down. It definitely felt that in a meaningful way. And it kind of just, as its turn, it kind of just pours itself onto Agent Jetlag. Just kind of the entirety of its mass just dives onto you. See if it gets you, though. Yeah, so it kind of just, it hits you hard and just, like, you're something enveloped in this pile of kind of sand and dirt, and it doesn't burn, so maybe it's not so much acid, but yeah, you're just kind of like, you're in this thing now, and it's, you feel it's kind of all over you, trying to like get in your mouth, up your, it's almost like it's trying to get inside of you or something like that. Jotun, your turn.
I'm going to shoot the mummy in the head.
All right. See that firearm.
8 out of 54 success.
Don't even have to roll damage for it. Yeah, it's a mummy. So yeah, the head just explodes, and this kind of the sand kind of like Jetlag. You're feeling like it's almost like it's trying to pull open your mouth to slither down it or something. It just kind of suddenly turns back to dirt. You're something that's in a pile of normal soil, dirt, sand. You're not quite what, but it's. Give me a sandy roll on that one, though.
Will do.
Nice.
77 out of 77.
All right. So being attacked by a giant monster somehow gives you one sandy point back. Despite the fact it was obviously trying to like get inside of your body to explode you from the inside out or something.
I mean, he's an EPA agent. He's pretty familiar with dirt and stuff, so...
Yeah, this is normal for an EPA agent. They're attacked by soil golems all the time. Yeah, perfect training for the EPA. All right, so yeah, that the monster seems to be down. Give me an alertness check, everyone, but Jetlag, because you're still kind of inside of a giant pile of dirt that's no longer trying to murderize you, but you're still in a giant pile of dirt.
Tackle failed.
Jotun success. 12 out of 54.
I critically succeeded with a 44 out of 47.
All right, so Jotun and Jumper. So you're looking around the room like you're maybe breathing for the first time. Like this has been intense. Like this could have gone really badly, and you just kind of feel like almost like there's an electricity there that just shuts off all of a sudden. Like someone flipped the switch, it's all gone. Like you didn't even notice it was there until it wasn't there anymore. But it's like suddenly the air is like diffused almost. Like it feels normal, I guess is maybe the way of thinking of it. Like it's not, you're still in a weird Nazi wizard bunker underneath Malta, Idaho, but like that weird, like oppressive silenceness you were hearing earlier, realizing like there was a charge to that almost. Like ever since you stepped onto the property, there's been kind of this weird, like static across the skin. All the hairs on your arms have been standing up, feeling, and that's just all of a sudden gone. And Agent Jumper, because you are way down the sandy hole on this one, you are multiple types of a broken agent at this point, you actually kind of understand what happened. So whatever this was, the link to whatever link was allowing this to happen has been severed. Like that was indeed Felder. Felder was the mummy. Every other version of Felder you fought so far was in some way being controlled by this decrepit, almost a corpse in this bed, and that's been handled finally. I'll give you I'll just add 3 to your occult skill for that, actually.
Well, that's good. Why go insane?
At least you know the secrets of the occult.
Yeah.
It's more about how you'd be receptive to that type of thinking. Think of it that way. Like you're far enough down that like you can make the weird logic jump that, oh, that's obviously what's happening. Got this creepy nightmare bunker of secrets. What are you going to do with it? You going to search this room some? You got nothing but time, hypothetically. Like you can do a full inventory. You can start trying to take those books outside that you talked about from the zoo area. What's the plan?
Definitely want to save those. The rest of this, I want to burn it to.
Can I go investigate the vase
Yeah.
with the symbol on it?
Yep.
Will that just be like a search check?
What are you trying to learn about it, I guess? Like it's more of a subjective question.
Well, I guess I want to see first, is there anything in it?
Oh yeah, no, it's full of like this weird blood mixture that has stopped bubbling, though, for the record. And as that's kind of stopped bubbling, you do kind of see something pointy sticking out of it.
I'd like to put on a pair of gloves and grab the pointy thing.
Yeah. All right, so you put on a pair of gloves. It's gross. You're reaching into kind of a slurry of blood and probably Idaho soil. And what you pull out is this. It's a pyramid. It's an onyx black pyramid, like perfectly sharp on all edges, impossibly well worked kind of thing. It's just been sitting at the bottom of this. It's weird though. Like you'd expect, like maybe some of the stuff to be on it, like it's stuck to it or something like that. It's perfectly clean as it comes out of this thing. Or kind of like it's the stuff that kind of rolls off of it, like it's covered in some type of like Scotch Guard or like weatherproofing. Like none of it sticks in any way, shape, or form.
Do we see any markings on it, or is it just like pure black? Perfectly
smooth. Like I'm talking like so perfectly, like you run your hand on it, it's like running your hand across like glass almost. But it's too heavy it feels too heavy to be glass, but also it's not transparent. It's solid black. It's kind of like that super black paint where it kind of like it doesn't show up when it's against other black because the light doesn't reflect off of it. It's not quite that black, but it's just oppressive pyramid of just utter blackness.
I'll show that to everybody else, and then I guess unless somebody else has ideas on what to do with it, I'll catalog it and store it in something we can bring with us.
How big is that pyramid?
That's like 1 foot by 6 inches wide. It's not big. Like it's like almost like a paperweight size thing.
How much of this place are we going to try to document and take back with us? With cameras, we could take some pictures.
I'm going to do a search check. I'm afraid I know the answer to this, but I'm going to try to see where the tubes are going. Is that cool?
Yeah. Well, I guess which tubes are you talking about?
The ones that we cut.
They were going from the medical equipment into the urn. Yeah, that's already been established, yeah. No need to do a search for that. Some of them are kind of like sticking into the urn. Like you can tell that some of the stuff was just kind of like, do you have medical?
I do not.
I have chemistry. I have no medicine, though.
Anyone have medicine?
Medicine.
Give me intelligence then, Agent Jotun.
44 out of 75, critical success.
Yeah, so you're not a medical expert by any measure of the phrase, but it's almost like someone tried to turn this urn into a heart. Like they've kind of replicated the ventricle system of a heart with that. Like you've seen some medical textbooks, and it's obviously not the same. It's a 4 foot tall ceramic urn vase thing that had this weird pyramid and blood and dirt in it. But like, yeah, all the machines in the room that are kind of handling blood, they're pumping that aspect of it, kind of the recycling stuff for that. It all seems to kind of be tied into the system of it's either pumping blood into this or kind of pumping blood out of it back into the mummy body.
Right. And so, okay, so I did understand that right. So there are tubes going from the urn into the mummy body, and then there are tubes going from the machines into the urn. I guess what I was trying to figure out is, where is the blood originating? Is it just in the machines?
Yeah.
Or, okay. So I figured that the tubes somehow fed back to, like, the people with fungus growing on them. Or something.
No, it all kind of links back to Felder, actually. Like, it's a closed loop of, I'd probably say it's like the loop would be Felder, the machines, the urn, the machines, back to Felder.
Gotcha. So it is a closed, okay. So,
and there's IV bags of blood that are going back into Felder as well. But yeah, like it's It's not pumping it out to the rest of the space.
So this this vase is some sort of mystical heart. It's that's very weird. Does anyone else see that?
I should have asked this earlier. Anyone got any skills in history?
I got a little bit.
Yeah, I got some.
Give me the numbers, I guess.
41 for me.
13.
Okay, yeah. So now that you're looking at this, Agent Jumper, you realize what this is. This is like Egyptian. It's almost like a canopic jar or something like that. It's too big to be a canopic jar because those are kind of like 9 inches a foot tall. But it's very reminiscent of that design. It's very obviously kind of either Egyptian inspired or Egyptian in origin.
He was looking for eternal life. I mean, technically, you're supposed to take these across the river, but they're coffee jars. They're to hold all the essence of you.
Did you say coffee jar?
Kanafi jar. Egyptian. Yeah, the afterlife.
No, I don't know.
CANOPIC. After they take out all your organs and stuff, they put them in these jars or whatever in mummification.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. It appears to have stopped working.
Hackle just wants to look around the room,
the
walls, and see what else is in here.
Yeah, give me a search.
Failure, 86 out of 47.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a bunch of old tomes and a bunch of languages you don't speak, a bunch of Egyptian stuff, a bunch of Greek stuff, a bunch of German stuff, a bunch of Viking stuff. None of it kind of leaps out at you, but you do find kind of a weirdly out of place thing, a very modern looking envelope. It's like just a normal kind of everyday mailing envelope of some kind. It's been opened. There is a letter kind of partially sticking out of it.
I'm gonna open the letter and read it.
Yeah. All right, so what you find is a letter addressed to Wilhelm Felder from a Mr. Charles Xanthous, spelled Xanthous. And it reads, "My dearest Mr. Felder, we are so thankful to have your generous donation to our new museum. I would urge you to attend our opening ceremonies here in Brookville, Kansas." And there's a date, and the date's in about a week.
Did you say museum?
Yep. You go on to read more of it. The historical artifacts you have donated will no doubt draw legions to our town to discover its history, involvement in World War II and World War I. We are ever so thankful a fine collector such as yourself saw fit to donate all these high-end items to our small but growing collection. Again, thank you. And more importantly, kind of below the signature at the bottom of the page, there is symbol that you don't recognize, but it looks like this. I guess let me rephrase. Is everyone gonna kind of come over and look at this, or is it just him looking at it right now?
I'll come over and look at it.
All right.
I'll, as I start to read it, I'll maybe say, interesting letter over here if you want to check it out.
Sure.
Yeah, let's come check it out.
All right.
All right, I'm mosey over too.
All right, so the bottom of this is this symbol. It's a weird kind of, it's yellow, and it's kind of hard to see on this kind of white paper background, but it's a weird kind of squiggly, almost question mark-like shape. Never seen it before, though. It's a very strange thing to put at the bottom of a page. It's good cardstock, though. Like the letter is very professional. The penmanship is quite nice, almost artistically well done. Like the man maybe practices calligraphy or something like that. He's very proud of his penmanship at a minimum. Very official feeling.
And what was the name of the town?
Town is Brookville, Kansas.
Halley Festival?
It's inviting you to the Halley Festival, Hali Festival, in town. That'll mark the opening of the museum.
Any guesses what that means?
Kind of sounds like Holly. Maybe it's just kind of a misspelling of the Holly Festival. Those are things people are doing.
Yeah, I doubt it's a misspell. None of these things.
All right, Jumper, what do you think it is? You tell me. You seem to have a better grasp on
No clue what it is. I'm just thinking it's spelled the way it's supposed to be spelled, and it's not good. None of this stuff is good. It's all connected and it's bad. It's all bad. We need to probably deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. But no guesses what that word means, what the symbol means, anything like that?
No clue.
Kind of looks like a question mark or a couple of question marks. With a weird tail, maybe an eye in the middle there. I don't know. That could be a flower.
I mean, at a minimum, like, what the hell would Felder be sending to a museum that would be good? Like, the dude's old enough to literally have, like, Nazi memorabilia that he probably had on at some point.
Everything he would send them would be bad.
Yeah. Could be a backup jar.
This is a mysterious clue if there ever was one. Let's take this back with us, I think.
All right. Anything else of interest in this room? You say there's Viking stuff?
Yeah, it's a bunch of, like, runic stuff. Like, it's all very high-end, very old. If you had to guess, it's kind of like spell books and occult research and stuff. That's probably... You spend a bunch of time looking into this, but like, you definitely would have to like take it home. It's a library's worth of stuff you'd have to flip through.
Well, there's more here than we could take. Make some decisions. I think we can take those journal books that we found in the first room. A lot of this stuff.
I'll take some of this Old Norse. I'll take a look at it. We can't take all of it. I'm rethinking what our friend asked us to do with, just burning the whole place.
Yeah, it's been bugging me.
I don't think we can. Well, let's talk to Pine and see what she has for us. My thoughts are this. Some of those people in there are still breathing. Now,
you're not doctors, but there's no saving those people.
Oh, are you talking about the zombies?
I meant the people with the mushrooms on them. Just if there's anything that could possibly be done, I don't know. If they're in too great a state of decomposition, then that was my only thought, was that if
there's literally a mushroom growing up through someone's eyeball.
All right, well, I just wasn't sure if there was any. All right, so then let's take a vote. Who votes that we call Miss Pine, see what she has to say, and who votes that we just burn the place?
I vote burn the place.
Yeah, one vote for burn the place.
Save what we can and burn the rest.
We got 2 votes for burn the place. Jackal?
Taking pictures of this place or no?
Unfortunately, yes.
We need evidence.
Well, I'm not normally one to be scholarly minded, but so many books here. I don't know. I just feel like Pine could use them for something, but let's burn it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you trust Pine to have this type of knowledge? Like she?
Oh no! We're not giving the knowledge to Pine. We need to keep it.
What kind of which book? What knowledge?
The books, the library, on all the freaky stuff. How are we going to fight the freaky stuff if we don't have the library?
That's a good point.
Yes, but all right. So we're J-Cell.
That's right.
That means that there's at least a few other cells. Unless,
or so we've been told.
Well, okay, so let's see. So there'd probably be at least 9 other, or maybe there were at least 9 other cells. That doesn't mean they're active. Maybe all 9 of them are dead.
They create cells down the alphabet, and we're just the latest one. And once we die, they'll use the next letter.
My point being, she has organized us. She sent us here. Who's to say she isn't organizing other cells? We know there are other cells active. There are people leaving stuff in the green boxes. We may not know them, but we know there was stuff in there that I can't account for. Miss Pine didn't set all that up. She didn't, fly to wherever the hell in Louisiana we were and hide a van in a junkyard and fill it with all kinds. That was not. No, that's not something that she did alone. Other people had been in there. and they had left oddities, and I see a potential benefit in turning this knowledge over to the organization and allowing them to inform other units.
Someone who works for the United States government, you are awfully trusting.
Yeah, because I work for the government, and I know that most conspiracy theories, this whole Eldritch thing aside, are bullshit. And so,
This isn't bullshit. We're in the bullshit now.
yeah, I know, but I think that, okay, so if we have something out there, some of his research, okay, and it could benefit another agent, okay, if he has documented whatever the hell was inside of that, the weird person that we were talking to, Bauman's wife, the thing that was inside of her, if he has documented what that is, and we don't, and he knows how to destroy it, if we then empower the rest of the organization with that knowledge, this is just a for instance, if we empower the rest of the organization with that knowledge, that could potentially save the lives of other agents later on. This is not the only thing that's going on here. This is not an isolated incident. There's way more of this. There's shit going on in Kansas that we know about, at least. This guy came from Germany. There's all kinds of shit happening in Germany. You can look around the room. Germany, Egypt, there are things around the world that are terrifying and that we are trying to do something about. And if we just, if we greedily keep that knowledge to ourselves, or if we destroy any of it, I just see that as being of no great benefit. When, if the organization had that information, again, it could help us defeat some of these things. We're certainly saving the journals, but there's other stuff here that there's other knowledge, there's other information that might be beneficial. So I don't know about burning the whole place.
I guess, like, point of clarity real quick. You've got the kind of researched binders from the zoo. You've got kind of this whole library full of weird artifacts and weird books and stuff like that. And then you also have the lab with its weird experiments. It doesn't have to be one solution fits all, I guess, either, hypothetically.
I hear what you're saying, but from my encounters with this organization, I don't really inform their agents before sending them into situations. Like, there's a high likelihood that whatever we turn over to them is not going to make it to another team somehow.
Why wouldn't it? What benefit is it to Miss Pine to not tell us things? I mean, obviously there are things that at a higher level that they're going to keep from us.
Yeah. Like, have you felt fully briefed on any of the missions we've gone on? Oh, maybe like this mission where we entered a bunker and had no idea what we were facing. She may even not have the knowledge, but we just stumbled upon the knowledge. Do you think she's just going to openly share that with us, as secretive as she is?
I mean, but again, she might not have that knowledge. We had to go investigate it. But if nobody's fought a werewolf before and we have no idea how to kill it, and we find out from Herr Nazi's journals that it's a silver bullet, and we tell K-Cell, hey, there's a werewolf, bring some silver bullets, I don't see why that information be kept. She's armed us. She gave us nice equipment. She gave us vehicles. She gave us transportation. If she had any idea what was going on, why would she not share that with us? I just assume that they didn't have enough of an idea. I could be totally wrong. I don't know if she knew what that crocodile monster was. I don't know if she knows what Sandman here is.
You assume that she didn't know and didn't tell you because she didn't know. I assume she did know and just didn't want to divulge the information. And if we failed, she'll send in another team.
Why? Then she has to train other people.
She hasn't trained us any.
We're more beneficial to her alive than we are dead, at least right now. Maybe not later on. And I'm cognizant of that. We found that guy's footlocker. I get it. But we are more useful to her alive than we are dead. And I think she's at least pragmatic enough to realize that. And so again, if there is something that could be of benefit, I just think it would make the most sense to avail her of that. But again, it sounds like 3 votes for burning the place. And so if we're going to burn the place, let's burn the place. We're obviously keeping the journals. We got pictures, you know.
What do you think? Jet lag?
I understand the point that there could be valuable information here that we may want to save, but it goes both ways. If the information survives, it could be used for nefarious deeds in addition to protecting future agents or something to that effect. So I think it can go either way, and I would still just say burn it.
We're keeping all the binders. Are we going to keep them for ourselves or turn them in? Turn them in. Compromise. Everything else we document with photos and burn.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, well, let's at least go get the truck, bring it back here so we can load it up, and then set fire to the place, and then we'll call Miss Pine.
Good deal. Agreed. All right, so we're heading out to get the truck over here.
Well, so I guess before you get outside, I guess, remember, there was talk of making a bomb at one point to blow this space up. There's been a variety of kind of discussions of how to handle this space, I guess.
Oh, we've got lots of lab materials.
Yeah. And I think it was Jotun felt pretty comfortable that there was enough in there he could probably jury-rig something up to blow it up, hypothetically. But also, you still have the thing that was Marlene hanging out in its cell. Like, you haven't really kind of decided what to do with that. You also have the baby with the human arm in that tank. And also you have this weird room. And you have all the kind of weird artifacts that were in the spell room, for lack of a better phrase. There's a bunch to kind of blow it up and bury it. You're going to start smashing stuff. Like, hell, you have this weird urn in this room with you.
And there's so much on this property. There's a mushroom farm with corpses in it.
Yeah.
There's a silo full of weird grass.
We should have Miss Pine send an air raid to take care of this place.
Okay. I'm fine with that, but then we have to tell her what's here. I mean, we have to tell her why she has to take care of it, in which case, if you're so insistent that we can't trust her, if you're going to insist that we can't trust her, I'm not saying I like her. I'm just saying that I don't necessarily distrust her. I'm not saying that I'm saying that I don't think that she would be inclined to misuse this information. But we have to tell her then why you're going to drop a bomb on a farm in Idaho.
I mean, give her part of the information. Give her the information about the mushroom people and the fact that we're not 100% sure that, we killed him and all the freaky blob things that are in here. We just got to nuke the place.
There's enough accelerant in there. I can make sure that this place doesn't. I think. Let me check. Can I do a chemistry roll?
Yeah, we already established it earlier. You can totally kind of rig something up to make it blow. There's also probably enough like gas being piped in for experimental purposes. You could rig something up with that as well. And I guess kind of table talk to you specifically. You could also pretend to rig a bomb up and try and deceive your fellow agents.
No, I think my loyalty to them is stronger than my loyalty to...
Just throwing that one out there.
I appreciate it. No, there's definitely enough... there's the appropriate materials here. I can make sure that this place goes up. And by the time whatever fire department they have over in Malta realizes it and gets out here, there shouldn't be anything left.
Actually, with that in mind, remember what the ranger was telling you earlier? He's there for wildfires.
Forest fires.
Plains fires.
Your point that he'd be there first?
No, but you'd have like a potential way to cover up the entire site. Like if you started a fire here and then also lit some of the surrounding field on fire. Tragic farm struck down in crop fire.
Mhm.
That's true.
Don't silos explode every now and then?
Yeah, but that's if they're full of grain. It's kind of like a dust flower explosion. There's not enough stuff in the silo to make it blow up.
No, but could we make it look like that's what happened?
The town doesn't know that.
Jet lag. What's the risk, would you say, of more extensive damage were we to light the fields and whatnot on fire? Do you think that's going to get out and create a serious problem? Make Idaho the next California? You know what I mean? You'd know better than we would.
Let me do an environmental science roll and see.
Yeah.
32.
Yeah, would it be good? Probably not. Like, you definitely piss off some farmers and stuff like that, but it's not going to go California on you. This is an inherently wetter environment. Also, it's spring. It's not summer.
Okay. Well, I don't think it would cause too much of a trouble. There might be some minor collateral damage to surrounding farms and stuff, but overall, it's not likely to spread too far beyond the confines of this particular plot.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
let's blow it up, drive the hell out of here, and give Miss Pine a call when we get back to Boise.
So we're going to blow up the compound and light a fire on the surface level. That's what I'm hearing.
Yep. Compound should partially collapse on itself in addition to the bomb damage. Then light everything on top on fire and hope nobody goes digging too deep.
All right. And what about the house? Do you want to take the house down? That's probably lower priority. Be okay letting that stand, and if it catches fire from the field, it catches fire.
It does have that creepy painting in it. Maybe we should.
I don't like that place.
down.
I don't like that place. I don't like that painting. I don't like the painting that was in here. No.
All right. Well, we can light the house on fire too.
All right. So first things first.
Let's go get the truck over here and load up the binders.
Uh-huh.
Actually, we haven't decided about that thing in the cell.
Well, that thing
Marlene.
needs to die.
I have a feeling that if we blow up the compound, it's going to release it. It's going to undo its markings.
Well, yeah, but there's a way to kill it, isn't there?
So you could do a little research quick.
Yeah. Not quickly, but yeah, you could definitely do some research into it.
Yeah.
Should we roll for that?
Yeah, I'm not much of a...
No, you actually got to try and do that?
Research how to kill Marlene, yeah.
Yeah.
Marlene spoke to me last time we encountered Marlene, and I feel kind of motivated to rid the world of it if I can. So I'll look through the binders when we get there, see if I can find anything immediately. And
I'll help.
So you're going to do some research into that? It's going to take some time. This will take some time to dig through, so that'll be a couple of bureaucracy checks. Or let's start with some bureaucracy checks. It's time to start going through this to do some research. I should start with a search, then we'll move on to bureaucracy in a couple seconds.
Critical success, 55 out of 74 on search.
Yeah, so
7.
So kind of using the notes in the kind of field zoological study, you kind of almost by freak accident kind of knock one of the books off of the shelf inside of Felder's room, I guess, and yeah, it's the references in the notes in the binder kind of reference this book specifically. So you find that, yeah, and you kind of start flipping through it, and it's a bunch of kind of weird, rumory stuff about this thing, about kind of an intelligence from beyond our world that kind of, it's almost more of a liar, though. It actually doesn't know that much, is what's revealing, kind of thing. Like it deceives. It doesn't really want to be here, though, either. And you're kind of flipping through stuff, but you do. This takes several hours. Kind of, you're all kind of splitting stuff up and looking around for things, and it does take some time. But you do kind of find a section that kind of mentions how to banish it. This is going to be a bureaucracy check.
Tackle failed, 61.
Jotun success, 23 out of 47.
If you find kind of a thing what you're going to need for, you're reading through this, you find some stuff. Yeah, you successfully kind of find all the supplies you might or might not need for this. And last but not least, we're going to need an occult check to kind of see if you can feel confident pulling this thing off.
Dang.
Oof. Fail. Fail and fail. Useless. Too busy staring at my lighter.
I failed too with an 82 out of 50.
All right, here goes nothing. Oh, Lord.
Tackle failed occult, 83 out of 10.
Yeah, I failed too, 54 out of 14.
You all feel confident you have this ritual down. Yeah, this is going to go great. You got this.
So, what's involved in the ritual? Like drawing things on the ground, lighting.
Yeah, see, thankfully you have this kind of cool spell room already pulled together that you could use, courtesy of Felder. So, rituals are kind of cool. So, to perform them, you actually want to fail a sanity test. That's part of the ritual itself.
We do it now?
Yeah, so you're going to do the ritual now? Like it's time to do the thing?
Oh, we spent a few hours doing this. I want to go through with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so who's doing the ritual, I guess? Who will conduct the ritual? I recommend it being the person with the lowest sanity and the highest occult.
I was going to say, I nominate Agent Jumper.
Yeah.
Jumper.
All right, sounds like I'm gonna jump in this wholeheartedly.
All right.
I want to get rid of this thing. So, which do I roll first?
All right, so we're going to roll a sanity check first. Basically, we are testing to see if you believe this is actually going to work.
Watch this be the one time I pass my sanity.
First time for everything. Yep.
Yes, it did. 18 out of 35.
This is stupid. This is like, it's a lot of wizard mumbo jumbo. You've seen some stuff, but like, you're no wizard. You're a media specialist. Like, a bunch of weird hand waving and some kind of mispronounced Latin and Enochian words you're finding in a book. This is dumb. Like,
That's totally gonna work, guys.
yeah.
What not? This is crap.
What? It just says that you say, what is this? Avada Kedavra, and then it goes away. Doesn't seem that hard.
So, Agent Jumper can't quite in the mindset for this. She's just not. Yeah, it's.
Isn't this something? This seems like something from Harry Potter. This ain't gonna work. Burn it with fire. That's what I say.
Someone else want to try?
I mean, okay, so objectively, like, I mean, we know that this is like as sure. Why not? Let's give it a shot.
Well, I guess like the think of it this way: you've seen a lot of weird shit, but like you haven't seen magic been done yet. Like magic's probably a step too far. Like monsters, those are real, but actual wizard bullshit, that's not real. It was the jar doing all the work for Felder or something. He didn't do that. Like the man was a mummy. Who knows what type of pact he made with the weird shadow man thing you kept seeing. Think of it that way, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, so in theory, his markings will hold him, even if we burn his body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're gonna try to collapse the compound, though. I mean, that's gonna destroy the markings.
Won't go away.
Tell you what, we'll blow up the lab in the magician's room. Not in that order. We'll start. We'll work our way out. We'll blow up this portion. We'll leave his effed up zoo. We'll destroy the entrance as best we can. I don't know. Maybe fill it in.
You could blow up the entrance too, hypothetically.
Yeah. So we blow up the entrance, but we take out the lab and everything. Blow up the entrance. Leave the zoo.
I mean, someone else could try the ritual too.
I would try it. I just don't know if I'm of the right disposition for that kind of thing.
Sure.
Anybody else feel like they can do something occulty this evening?
Don't we need to be in like robes and candles and stuff? Have wands like Harry Potter?
All right, let's. I guess if you're not okay with leaving the zoo, I'll try the ritual. All right, so sanity first.
Yep.
You can do it, Agent Jotun.
Fail.
Yeah, so you kind of take the spot in the circle and you open up your mind and yeah, it's stupid, it didn't work. Like you're not a wizard, but like you feel it. Maybe it's the place of power, maybe it's just kind of some knowledge going on, but you kind of like your mind finds the ever so slightly small hole and just kind of pushes a finger through it. And you kind of find yourself, like, you're not actively seeing anything, but you feel as though, like, your brain has been opened up to something elsewhere. Give me an occult check. All right, so you perform the ritual and you feel pretty confident you got it, but part of your brain's also not 100% sure you got it. But at the same time, like, you found this hole and you're kind of pulling it open with your finger, like your mental fingers as best you can, and you kind of suddenly feel this like blast of something just whip through the room and kind of fly through you and then out through your kind of mental fingers into this hole and like blast out from there. But also kind of you hear from the other side just kind of, it's not so much a voice, it's not so much something talking to you, it's more like something's thinking at you, but it's also kind of like it's garbled, it's staticky thinking. And it just kind of says, like, it almost feels into your brain. It's just like, you are not one that holds the keys. Give me a sand check.
Success.
All right, so you kind of like snap out of it fast enough, but you still take 3 sanity damage as just kind of something beyond spoken to your brain. You can still, like, it's not talking to him, but you still kind of feel this, like the echoes of its voice rattling around inside your skull almost. You're also going to increase your unnatural by 3.
All right.
Give me a constitution check actually too as part of this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a failure.
Yeah, so as this voice is just kind of echoing on you kind of fall to the ground, you suddenly feel sick and clammy, like you're running a fever. It's like at like 30 seconds of just like, it almost feels like you've been poisoned or something. And like it's kind of like you're breathing heavily and speaking out of your mouth, but not you speaking. You just kind of like choke out the words Yog Sothoth. But again, it's not you saying it. It's the thing that's rattling around inside you, and then kind of like it's just gone. Like it's not a loud saying. It's just like you whisper it to yourself, but also no one at all simultaneously. And you definitely didn't say it. But yeah, that kind of as fast as you kind of suddenly felt afflicted, you feel fine again. Like it's kind of suddenly you feel good, but also changed.
Well, that didn't work.
I don't know. Go check on Marlene.
What do you mean it didn't work? You said some crazy stuff there.
I know it didn't work. I felt something for a minute there. It was like I could push through. When I did, there was something else there. It didn't like I was pushing through, and told me that I didn't have the keys, and then I got real sick. I don't think that worked, and I really would not recommend trying it. Is Marlene still in the cage?
Let's go
You have to
look.
go check.
Let's go take a look. All right, we go check on Marlene.
Yeah, so you go back out there, and the smell of burned things hasn't totally dissipated, but also the body that thing was riding, it's kind of slumped over. It's kind of like dead at the bottom of its cell, just kind of lying there. Doesn't respond to you as you come up. It's just kind of slumped and corpsey looking.
Oh, it looks dead.
Might be.
I mean, it looked dead before, technically.
Well, thank you for trying. We did our best, I think. If it's dead, it's dead. If not, I think we should just...
I mean, you could go into the cage and check.
Know that I want to go in there.
No, this thing can body hop. It can do all kinds of crap. I'm starting to wonder what's the harm if it just gets loose on rural Idaho. Let's not. Let's just, again, let's blow the place up. Let's leave the zoo. I still think that's the best idea, because these markings, unless I somehow undid them, which would be a terrible thing now that I think about it. Did that happen? I hope not.
I agree with your plan. I think we should demolish the place, leave the zoo, try to collapse the entryway to this area, and light a fire upstairs.
All right. Let's get the truck. Let's load up the books first. Shit, what time is it?
I'm down here for some time. Like, doing the research, trying to do the ritual. Like, it's well past midnight by now.
All right. Exactly where I want to be. Creepy farm after midnight. All right. Let's get the truck. Who's 2 people should go get the truck. 2 people stay down here. I can go get the truck, or I can stay down here. I don't care. Let's get moving. We got what was it, 3 hours back to Boise?
Yeah, something like that.
Unless y'all want to sleep here for the night, which I do not. So,
All right. Jackal will volunteer to get the truck with somebody else.
all right, Jackal, let's go get the truck.
While we're going to get the truck, somebody else should work on their bomb.
Oh shoot, I can stay down here and work on the bomb.
Yeah, I'll go get the truck then. I'll take your place.
Jackal and jet lag moving out.
All right, so Jackal and jet lag. When you get up top, you have it outside fine. So it's almost deafening compared to what it was previously. We talked about how it was kind of unnaturally quiet when you were up top side. You can now kind of hear the faraway sounds of the highway. There's actual wind sounds, crop rustling noises. It's almost as though like the footprint of this farm was like magically having every outside influence kind of pushed away from it. Like it's almost deafening. That's how big the comparison is. Like you hear a variety of insect noises, you hear stuff off in the distance. Like you're realizing just how weird it was that when you were here last, kind of above the ground, that there was just nothing.
This feels like a completely different place.
I think that's a good sign. Finally, nature is making some noise. That's more what I'm used to in the woods or in the wilderness, like the farm out here.
It kind of reminds me we better keep our wits about us. There could be people out here. I know we're kind of far out, but...
Yeah, and didn't somebody hear some wind whispering once upon a time? That might still be out here, too.
That's right. Would it?
Didn't somebody hear some wind whispering when we were outside alone, right before we went into the shed?
Yeah.
Some voices on the wind or something?
It might have been Jotun.
Yeah. Well, it's just like you said, keep our wits about us, and... maybe we're not quite out of the woods until this entire place is under flame. So we go get the truck.
Yeah, do it at the truck. It's fine. Nothing bad happens. Get it back to the farm. Give me an alertness check. I'll even give me a plus 20 on that alertness check.
23 out of 70 something success.
Yeah, so you both off in the distance hear the sound of... Sounds like a large truck kind of relatively rapidly coming towards the farm almost. Like, it's not like a semi-truck, but something big, like cement truck or something along those sides. Like, it's big and it's heavy. It's definitely coming your direction.
Hey, do you hear something coming this way?
Yeah, and that's coming really fast. What do you say we drive this truck around to the back of the barn just so it's out of sight?
Good idea. And maybe let's watch and see what happens, but
yeah,
guns at the ready, just in case. Hairfelder had some accomplices or something.
Good call. All right, so yeah, we drive up the kind of on the tracks that led to the barn, but we pull around the side and go behind it.
Sure. Yeah. So a couple minutes pass after you kind of get all settled in there, hidden, and looks like a small gas truck pulls up almost. Like it's got that. It's not full on like double kind of like semi type of thing, but it is like a large truck with a kind of liquid storage container of some kind on the back. It's just marked Idaho fuel and natural fuel, and kind of it parks in front of the house. It pulls up really close, and you can't quite see where the angle you're at, but you do see kind of three figures jump out of the truck. All of them are wearing backpacks of some kind. They kind of run off and they kind of like start. Two of them run into the house. One of them runs off towards the silo. A fourth one kind of steps out of the car or steps out of the truck, kind of looking around. This one doesn't have a backpack, but she's kind of like it's looking around, just kind of like it's looking for something. What do you do?
I kind of want to stay put.
You just want to keep watching for a little bit and see.
Yeah,
I think you can radio to us, right? We still have the communicator.
Yeah.
Or am I wrong about that?
Yeah, but also you're underground in a cement bunker. Who knows if it'll work?
Was that a luck roll?
That would be a luck roll.
It's a holographic scope. That's not like night vision.
It works at night, but it's not like a night vision scope, no.
I'll try the luck roll to radio down and see if they have any thoughts.
Sure. All right, so not only can you not make contact, but as you're kind of pressing the button, you don't realize how loud it's turned up. And at some point during all that combat, I guess your like earpiece got pulled up. It makes a loud static noise, and the figure that was kind of looking around just whips in your direction. And Give me an alertness check.
Okay. Fail.
2 failures,
Yeah.
65 out of 56.
This figure's kind of taking an odd stance, but you can't see what's going on, and they are coming at you in a brisk pace. What do you do?
Well, they know we're here. Cover me. I will step out, take out my badge, and say, "Excuse me, this is private property under the investigation of the Environmental Protection Agency for possible pesticide contamination. Please state your business, who you are, and why you're here."
All right, so the figure kind of stops, and now that the figure's about 20 feet away and kind of stands up, and if at this point you realize they are dressed head to toe in black. They have kind of a weird goggle thing on their face. They appear to be wearing a gas mask of some kind, and the thing they are holding it's not as nice as your assault rifles, but it's also some other type of assault rifle. They're decked out for combat. And kind of the figure looks at you, kind of straightens up, tilts its head to the side, goes up, pulls its mask off. Guten Tag, J-Cell. It is the IRS agent from back at the college. It is Samantha Pierce. So I'm guessing we got one dead German to deal with?
You got one dead something to deal with down there, potentially.
Fair enough, yeah. We've been trying to find you guys for, kind of looks at her watch, 2 or 3 hours at this point. We thought you were dead just like about, I don't know, probably about 2 hours ago you suddenly lit up on the map like it's the homing beacon in your truck just popped on. That satellite phone, by the way, was bugged.
Oh, I see.
Very good.
Well, we're just finishing cleaning up down here, I guess. Thanks for the support. A little late, but appreciate the effort.
So as this is going on, you just suddenly see the silo in the background explode in a giant plume of flame, and then the 2 other plumes of flame just shoot out of the windows of the house at the 2 different floors and kind of start licking at the surface. And Samantha Pierce looks at you and she goes, "Oh, we're not done having fun yet. You got anything interesting?"
That'd be an understatement.
Called that cold bitch yet?
If not, no.
You gonna?
We're going to do a little demo first.
Good call. We'll help. So the 2 figures kind of step out of the house that were in the house. The 3rd figure comes back, and you realize that they were all wearing flamethrowers. And they are just lighting everything on this place on fire with it. And she kind of gestures at you, kind of looks at the truck. What are you waiting for? Get the rest of the team out. We got this place to burn.
Okay, we did want to pull out some binders to return the Delta Green. But other than that, we're ready to light the place up.
Binders?
And we basically think that they're going to be good for the organization.
Okay.
Helpful knowledge for agents in the field.
All right, so she kind of like puts a hand on a sidearm on her side for a second. What else did you find down there?
A lot of things. Lab equipment, gruesome experiments, elder in the flesh. There you go, take a look.
Oh, I don't need to look. It's all staying down there, right?
Catch your drift. Definitely thinking that these binders could save some lives someday.
Binders are fine. That's whatever. Take them with you. That's just some light homework as far as I'm concerned. What'd you find down there?
You're going to have to be a little more specific.
I haven't been down there yet, Agent. You have. Anything of special note?
As I said earlier, yeah, that'll be an understatement. We got some crazy occult, disgusting science lab kind of stuff going on. Sand should not move. Monsters.
Medical equipment.
Undead.
Oh, so normal run-of-the-mill stuff. Got it. And kind of one of the other kind of figures yells from back over his shoulder. Fiddlesticks, you need to take a look at this. She goes, do what you're gonna do. We'll finish cleaning up here. Just kind of handle your business quick, and leave that shit down there.
Yes, ma'am.
She kind of wanders off to look at something. They're talking about something over by the house that's rapidly kind of catching on fire. One of the flamethrower people is just starting to light up the kind of field around the area.
Let's go get our compatriots real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go down, drop down into the bunker.
Yep.
We've got some company upstairs. And they came packed with some heat.
Felder's men?
Nope. Our people. You know, remember that accountant from back in Boise?
Sure, yeah. It's Delta Green.
Yeah, it's her and two others, and they actually have flamethrowers, and they're lighting up the house in Silo.
Why didn't you just say that? Why'd you say some stranger showed up packing heat? Why would you say that? We're in this creepy bunker.
All right, forgive me, but we don't have a lot of time. They're okay with us bringing the binders, but everything else just got to go. Do you have a bomb built yet?
I've got it's bomb would be a it'll go off.
Also, I guess on that same note, remember, this could be the Coral Nomad team that Miss Pine mentioned to come kind of clear the stuff out.
Coral Nomad team?
It's an Air Force. It's an old kind of Air Force, or it's a current Air Force recovery team. Miss Pine mentioned that they'd send a Coral Nomad team in to recover anything you might find that you thought might be useful.
Well, they might. They can probably help us if ship out these binders, but our friend was pretty insistent that everything else stays down here and is destroyed.
Destroyed how?
I assume that they would point their flamethrowers down here, but I think a homemade bomb would be good as well to kind of crumble things up a little bit.
Yeah. How about we tell them about that before they start throwing flames around accelerants and whatnot?
I'm not going to burn this while we're down here, so.
Good point. Let's go. I mean, can they come down here, or they want us to go up there? We gotta get the binders out.
She was not interested in coming down, so let's take a load of binders up and tell her we got an explosive device ready to go almost.
All right, let's get the binders.
Load binders up.
Yeah. Take some time to get them all upstairs, though. Load into the truck. Things are popping off, though, too. They've been using those flamethrowers liberally. Like, stuff's starting to go. They're starting to work on the barn, taking them some time. When it looks like you're probably done loading up binders, Samantha Pierce walks back over. Is that it?
We wanted to let you know that we've got some incendiary devices down there. Were you just hoping to use your flamethrower?
Yeah, we were going to burn the place ourselves, and so I got to work in his lab. He had sort of a elaborate setup, and I was able to engineer some explosives we were going to take the place out with. So might be, wise not to go down there with your flamethrowers. I don't know what you had in mind. I don't even know if you knew that there was a bunker down here. But there's more stuff. There's more books. There's a whole library down there.
She kind of looks at you. Jason, I believe you were in specific orders to leave anything of note to be recovered at later time by Delta Green. This sounds like this might be in violation of that order.
There's all kinds of crazy monsters, and we just wanted to make sure they were dead.
Give me a human int.
Okay. I failed it. 83 out of 63.
All right, so you're looking at her, and she looks like she's about to draw on you, maybe, or something like that. This is real stern face, like maybe you fucked up, and then she just kind of cracks up. Good call, agents. Burn it all to the ground. It's too dangerous to leave the bunker. It's all rigged to blow up. We can trigger it for you if you want. I suspect you want to get the hell out of here, maybe get to a shower and get the hell out of Idaho.
Yeah, I mean, Idaho's fine. It's just this farm that is rather upsetting. All right, so we got the binders. I grabbed at least one of the Norse tomes. Right, we're good with that. I didn't really have a plan as to how I would detonate this, so because I don't actually know in real life. So, what should I do there?
Fiddlesticks will handle that for you. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, if you get a good, I don't know what you were thinking of as far as a fuse. I was going to, just kind of, I'd kind of rigged up sort of a grenade. But whatever you want to do, just, it's ready to blow.
She kind of walks over, kind of stands over the hatch, takes a sniff. Oh, that's quaint. Runs back to the truck, pulls a hose over and kind of shoves it down the thing and just starts pumping some type of liquid out of the truck. And it just smells like gas or diesel fuel or something. And just empties this a large kind of liquid receptacle on the back of the truck into this thing. She goes, "You might want to start driving now. When this thing goes up, it's going to go up."
Yep, thank you, Agent. We'll see you.
I like these guys. Let's get the hell out of here.
You're with the EPA.
Yeah? What's your point?
They're dumping fuel. And you like that?
The ends justify the means, my friend.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, so as you're walking by, kind of one of the people with the flamethrowers kind of walks by. It's got a bit of a limp. And kind of in passing, they say, "Damn, it's a damn shame about this wildfire season, isn't it?" And just kind of in the background, you see kind of Agent Pierce kind of messing with something, like a road flint, kind of tosses it down the hole and just starts taking off towards the truck that she's pulling the hose out of. And pretty big to move out too. But yeah, you drive away, you make it kind of 2/3 the way back to town, and you just hear a loud boom behind you. Kind of hear the sound of another truck trying to catch up with you, but it's bigger and heavier than your truck is, so it's not quite getting there. Yeah, and you're starting to see kind of like this like kind of that low horizon glow of a fire slowly getting out of control kind of thing.
Jackal, you good to drive back to Boise?
Sure.
All right.
I got an 88 fumble on the drive.
Yeah, so about halfway back, you get a flat tire.
But we're out of Alta, though, right?
Yeah, you get about halfway back and get a flat tire, so you get stuck dealing with that, and you arrive back in Boise. It's like, I don't know, probably like 8, 9 a.m. in the morning. You did a real bad job of driving kind of thing. You're all sleep deprived. It's been a night. You've seen some stuff, like you just smell of blood and sweat and fire and farm, and yeah, as you kind of get nearer to the town of Boise or the city of Boise, you'll get emails confirming your flight to departure and stuff like that. Like you gotta sleep in Boise, or you just gotta head home and sleep on the planes.
I'm gonna head home. I want to get the hell out of here.